Hey there, it's Stephanie Shea, Chief Astrologer for janspiller.com with your monthly horoscope, and this one's for you, Aquarius. Now we're coming into June, and a lot of the energy this month will encourage slowing down. However, a lot of the astrology is happening in air signs, and that's supportive. You'll feel a bit in the flow, even if you're not charging full steam ahead. We've got this month's new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Gemini, and that's going to activate your creative inspiration and ability to make loving connections. Now, an energetic shift regarding love and romance is also coming your way. So let's look at the whole month. We have got Mercury in retrograde. This started back on May 29th, and Mercury will be retrograde in Gemini until June 22nd. This is going to orient you towards the past. It's a really good month to resolve unfinished business with loved ones, and an ex could resurface this month. Now, this doesn't mean you're definitely reuniting permanently. More information is going to be needed if this happens, and this month is not a good month for new commitments or big decisions. You can use this time to gather information regarding any matters of the heart and take time to yourself. That's when you'll best be able to access your inner wisdom. Now, Venus will enter Cancer on June the 2nd and stay in this sign this month, and that's going to help you to make your self-care a priority. What you might be focusing on is streamlining your schedule and giving yourself extra time to yourself. Again, that kind of goes back to that Mercury retrograde theme. Don't pack your schedule this month. Things are likely to get changed around and canceled anyway. You want to keep flexible, allow extra time. Cooking a delicious meal or taking a hot bath could be just the restorative medicine that you've been looking for. So if you've been needing a little break, you can actually plan that in your schedule a little bit this month. Now let's talk about the solar eclipse. The first solar eclipse of 2021 is going to be June the 10th at 19 degrees of Gemini. And solar eclipses are high-powered new moons that often stir the energy to prompt endings or beginnings of some sort. Now, this new moon solar eclipse is an especially good time for Aquarius and Aquarius rising people to set intentions related to romantic partnership, parenting, working with children, creative pursuits, learning, and healthy self-expression. It's a very creative new moon to get new ideas kind of in the ground. It's a seed planting time. Even though Mercury's retrograde, it's really important to write down your intentions at every new moon, but especially these solar eclipse new moons, as they tend to carry energy that can propel you forward for plans over the next 6 months. And you can know that in July and August and most of September, we won't have Mercury retrograde, and you'll be able to start taking some bigger steps towards ideas that come to you now. Now, on June 11th, the day after this eclipse, Mars moves into Leo, and this could be very energizing for existing or new relationships or potential relationships. Even though it's not a good month for major relationship decisions, it is a great time to enjoy life with other people. Put some fun on the calendar. Spend time with people who help you feel lighthearted and playful. You can worry about some of the heavier, bigger relationship type decisions next month. Now, Saturn and Uranus are in square all year. This is some of the big time astrology of 2021. If you haven't seen my video on the Saturn-Uranus square, I highly recommend it, especially for Aquarius people, because Saturn is in Aquarius. And this month, the square between Saturn and Uranus will be exact on June 14th. So you're probably feeling this astrology more so maybe than some other sun signs, especially if you were born on or around February 2nd of any year, or if you have around 13 degrees Aquarius rising. You're probably considering some big decisions that could affect your future. Now we've got Uranus and Taurus squaring your sun or your ascendant if you're an Aquarius rising person. And this could really make you want to do some big scale changes. Uranus usually isn't subtle. It wakes you up to the things you realize you have to radically shift. Now you can use the power of Saturn in Aquarius to organize yourself and take sensible steps towards a transformation that will be sustainable. So we're combining the themes of radical change with sustainable change. I kind of like that. It's not always the easiest thing, but it does sound a little safer than just the radical without the sensible. So unforeseen events beyond your control could arise, but you can take charge of your reaction. Think about playing the long game rather than those drastic overnight changes that you think will solve everything overnight. You're making a strategy at this point in your life to set yourself up for something that's going to be sustainable, secure, fulfilling down the road. Takes a little time, but well worth it. So we're in this astrology all year, but you might really feel it this month. Now we've got Jupiter stationing retrograde on June the 20th. This is the same day that the sun moves into Cancer. It's the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere and the winter solstice in the southern hemisphere. So it's a lot of watery astrology. Jupiter stationing retrograde in Pisces, the sun moving into Cancer. It's really turning us into our intuition and helping us with our emotional connections. Now, adding to that watery mix is Neptune in Pisces, stationing retrograde on June the 25th. And that could make things even feel a bit foggy in addition to emotional. So really be gentle with yourself and others. Jan Spiller really felt strongly about taking it easy around these Neptune stations, either retrograde or direct, because it can almost overload us with emotional sensitivity. Things might feel a bit overwhelming, and it's not the best decision-making energy, even though we're out of that Mercury retrograde. So you can plan for the end of the month to feel especially, I would use the word gentle, and it's a good time to take note of what comes to you. Don't force anything that doesn't feel right at this time. You know you've got July right around the corner at this point, and there's a lot more clarity coming your way. Now, the full moon on June 24th is going to be at 3 degrees of Capricorn. This full moon is going to help you to identify issues that might have been buried in the back of your mind. It's going to be a great time to come out of denial and face facts in a productive way. There's a very practical energy available with this Capricorn full moon that just helps you see things the way they are and then think about, okay, what are we going to do about it? Use the power of this full moon to get real with yourself and determine your top priorities. So I hope you can use all of June's astrology productively. Be safe and be well, and I will see you here next month with your horoscope.